We're this close to crowning an NBA champ, and with the action heating up on the court is even hotter at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. And DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered every step of the way with same-game parlays, live betting, odds boosts, and so much more. Don't miss out as the NBA postseason winds down.
It's super easy to get started with DraftKings if you're a first-timer. Try betting on something like a team to win. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app, select your team, and place your first bet. It's that simple. The Mavericks are plus 170 underdogs heading into the finals, which is pretty interesting, especially when they have the best player in the series. And if you're new to DraftKings, you got to check this out. New customers bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code Jenkins. That's code Jenkins for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
One live.
Welcome to Jenkins and Jones on the Volume Podcast Network. We are live, youtube.com/@Jenkins and Jones. Thanks if you're listening here, if you're joining us in the chat, or if you're listening on podcast. We are so excited to talk about the worst NBA finals of all time tonight. We got a two-man crew, as always, Jenkins and Jones, hosted by Dragonfly Jones, a.k.a. Tyler.
Hey, everybody, have a good.
I'm Guardy B, a.k.a. Mike.
Motherfucking Mike.
And we're produced tonight by the lovely and talented Josh Rodriguez. Josh, thank you for producing.
How you doing?
John is, for those of you who do not know, John has a show on ESPN, and so he was filming that on location today, and it's en route back to his family tonight. We call
him around here.
That's right. We do have some audio from John to check in with in a little bit, but let's get going. Tyler, is this the worst finals ever, bro? I am not having any fun. These games suck. There's no performances that I'm going to remember. Like it's just walking through mud for 48 minutes. Are you having any fun? And is this the worst finals ever?
I mean, if we're going to say, it's the worst finals ever, I think we need to kind of examine why we're categorizing it as that. And it's honestly because Boston is just so much better. There's no competition here. It's just so one-sided for Boston. Even during that 22 run, I still didn't believe that Dallas was going to pull it off. And they did pull it off. I know that they're cooked for the finals for the series, but it's just I have just never, I don't know if I've been this wrong about finals. I thought Dallas not only had a chance, but was going to beat them. And these motherfuckers are getting ran out the gym every night, bro. Yeah.
And salute to the Celtics for being dominant. I mean, they're up 3-0, and I think most Celtics fans would agree they haven't played a great game yet. I mean, they're getting not, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't even feel like they've turned it on all the way. You know what I mean? They won the game where they didn't shoot well. They've won the games where Tatum struggled. They won a game tonight where they gave up a 20-2 run in the fourth quarter, and they still win the game. So it doesn't even feel like they've been forced to get to what their highest level is, which is like you said, like that's a credit to them. That's a credit to how dominant they are. But how much blame do we give the Boston Celtics for playing a final so boring that it literally killed the great legend Jerry West?
Someone on Twitter tweeted he died before Boston won another championship. Real one right there. Like,
I wish he would have taken me with him. All right, we're joined.
Hey.
we're joined.
Take me with you, Jerry. Jaylen Brown's about to be Finals MVP.
We're now joined. Josh, is Master on? Is he on the YouTube? Can they see him?
Yeah, they can see him now.
All right, we're joined by our guy, Master Mav Superfan, who is walking around what I'm sure is not a very fun environment outside the arena in Dallas right now, having been at the game. Master, take us live from the game. What was it like?
Man on the street.
I wish I would have gone with Jerry West too, bro. God damn. He got room in that casket for me because I'm cooked. Bro, I am dead inside, bro. Like, I'm going to say this, like, the energy to start off this game, I've never seen that place as loud as that, ever. Like, it was lit. See, I'm talking to people right now. It was lit. First quarter was lit. Like, it was insane. The energy that everyone came with. Everyone got the memo. I happened to be sitting at club level, and I was worried I was going to be around a bunch of bougie Highland Park people. But even them Highland Park people, they was turned up. Everybody was on. And then Jaden Hardy comes in the game, a couple turnovers. Then Tim Hardaway Jr. comes in the game and gives you absolutely nothing. Michael Wilbon, that's why Tim Hardaway Jr. was not playing. This man hasn't made a field goal in a month, and you see why. The man has the yips, okay? So when people were asking where the hell Tim Hardaway Jr. was at, his ass was on the bench where he belonged, okay? But
Bro.
Jason Kidd, he had to give Lucas a rest, bro. So when people are upset, like, oh, he should have kept Luka in the game, bro, we know whatever injuries Luka's playing with, we already know how difficult it is for him to defend anyways, move his feet. So I got the reasoning behind it, man. But next thing you know, you shoot 60%, but you only, you have one. Like, it felt deflating. And then that third quarter, of course, bro, at that point, bro, I felt like Meek Mill, bro. Get up, bro. Get up. Get up.
Yeah, look, that third quarter was when I was officially like, Dallas has no chance at all in this series. It was just a flawless executed quarter by Boston, where just the offensive attack came from everywhere. It came from the Drew driving kick. It came from the Tatum ISO. It came from the Jaylen high screen. Like, it's just so many weapons and ways to attack that Boston has, and Dallas just basically has Kyrie, Luka ISO.
At one point, Xavier Tillman had as many three.
That was the backbreaker.
As every single player, not named Luka and Kyrie, in that game. And you're down 21, bro. And I got tickets to game 4. My homies over here like, bro, we got to sell these joints, bro. We're not coming to this. And then the comeback happened, man. And look, I know a lot of Celtics fans have been complaining about the officiating. I cannot understand how that's possible. I literally can. And I'm not here to complain about the officiating, what it was in the fourth quarter, whatever the case may be. But, like, I have no idea how you're capable of complaining about officiating in this series. I literally. So, but man, this stinks, man. There's no other way to do it.
What was the vibe in the arena? What was the noise that the crowd made when they fouled Luka out, and then they reviewed it and said, "No, we are for sure fouling that dude out."
I couldn't hear the official because everyone was going through that. Like, I didn't even hear the explanation. All we heard was he wasn't in a legal position, and they booed. I booed. I have no idea what my voice is going to sound like tomorrow, but the amount of times that I booed the officials, especially in that fourth quarter, that Derek White foul there late too as well. I think literally the cherry on top of all this. And unfortunately, I've been a couple of Mavs games this year, and I've seen this kind of game play out way too many times. They're down 20 points. They come back in the game. They give you some hope, some false hope, that hopium, and then they just run out of gas. Like, it's like they stole the playbook from the Dallas Cowboys of how to lose a game and break your heart at the same time. And we'll just experience that right now, man. And we are short though. We need better role players around our Luka and Kyrie. It's very clear we don't have the same depth they do. But it's just disheartening, man, to be down 3-0. Like, I never would have envisioned that, man. Especially with KPO.
Yeah, it felt like with that mystery injury, which was like a collection of words I have never seen before in my fucking life. It felt like that might have been the window. They get the lead, like you said, but everything's so hard for the Mavericks, and there's just so much margin of error for the Celtics that, like, it just doesn't feel like. And then it doesn't help when they foul, when Luka fouls out of the game. It doesn't help.
No, it doesn't help. How do you make that call, bro? Like, how do you make that call? That's again, if you want to say it's a foul or not, I can understand that. I just don't get how you make that call. I really don't.
I think, and it's only because you're walking around in a Mavs jersey, you're making me take a Celtic, like, devil's advocate position. I will say, because you could tell how worn down he was and he's playing so hurt. As someone who wanted the Mavs to win, I'm yelling at Luka on the hook play with Jaylen Brown, and on that one, like, bro, you cannot make that play right now, bro. You know what I mean? Like, you got 5 fouls, you got 4 fouls. So but I also understand, like you said, he's injured as fuck. He was doped up on who knows what. They said they had to give him a shot in his fucking sternum or something, bro.
God damn.
That does not sound fun. That don't sound fun at all.
That's like Pulp Fiction. Like, they gave him like a fucking EpiPen shot or something.
God damn.
So I don't know. I mean, I feel for him, but at the same time, it's like, Luka, we're not trying to take charges with 5 fouls, 4 minutes left in the game, bro.
I hear you. It wasn't a smart play from him as well. Like, yeah, man. Man, I'm depressed, bro. Like this stinks. Like to lose to all teams like Boston, bro. Like, man, fuck Boston, bro. Like for real. Like,
All right.
fuck.
On that
I think
note,
that's a perfect segue right
on
there.
that note,
that beautiful
okay.
game
So
footage.
I mentioned that John is at the Las Vegas airport flying back home to his family. He did watch the game at the airport with the Celtics fan. And I've got an audio check-in from John that I think our listeners will enjoy.
I'm in the airport and I'm talking to a Celtics
Get
fan,
close to the mic.
and he's talking about Jayson Tatum and all that, how he's the best player, Jaylen Brown, how he's wicked smart and all this. And he goes, and they say the blacks aren't loved in Boston. I'm dead ass. The blacks aren't loved in Boston. I'm looking at him like, nigga, bruh, it might be fuck Boston. Tatum get this one, I'll never root for that fucking Celtics squad ever again. Fuck you, man.
And they say the blacks aren't loved in Boston. The blacks.
The blacks, they're all right, ain't they? I mean, that
The
Pritchard
blacks.
guy, though. Hey, you saw how he locked down Luka Doncic in that one possession, but the blacks, hey, they chipped in too.
A stranger walked up to John and said that shit. That's so wild. Boston
At an
Oh,
airport bar, bro. At an airport bar. Hey, brother, I just want to make sure you understand that the blacks are loved in the city of Boston.
Like, the audacity, bro. It just rolled off the tongue, bro.
Boston ain't
They're
no
going to be
place.
NBA champs. Like, one of the cool bragging rights was we've had as many titles as the Celtics have had in my lifetime, and it's going to change them. They're going to be insufferable this whole summer, all summer long. They're being incredibly insufferable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a whole little stockpile of scraping the bottom of the barrel to discredit the Celtics. It's gonna be filthy though, bro. There's nothing you can't really say shit about this team. I'm trying. I asked people on Twitter basically to like help me brainstorm. I had a Celtics fan, bruh 344 say, "How are Tatum and Brown gonna let Sam Hauser play the best defense on Luka?" That's it. Like there's not really shit you can say about him, bro.
There's not, man. KP goes down and like they over here cracking jokes up 21 in the third quarter, bro. And dog, my heart just left the building, bro. I'm in. I don't know if I'm in a state of it now or just in that third quarter I accept the reality. It's just the way the fourth quarter went down. Just to give you that hope. I think that's the part that I'm still trying to process right now because I'm gonna say in the back of my mind, man, there were so many chances. But the reality is, no, the fuck there wasn't. They're clearly the better team. And I was so shocked to see how many media people picked the Mavs because we were bigger underdogs this series than we were against the Heat. I saw all y'all pick them. And
Tyler
again,
and I, yeah.
And I was surprised because I genuinely was like, there's a reason why they're heavy favorites. And yeah, I'm in my senile, delusional Mavericks fanhood and, shock the world, blah, 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 blah. But like, I knew you look at a Drew Holiday, you look at a Derek White, you look at the 2 through 6 players that they have that have outperformed the Mavs outside of Luka. It's just, we don't have that. We really don't. And I'm okay with accepting that. And at some point, I will be really happy with the way the season went, considering how we got here with fucking Tim Hardaway Jr. having the yips and Josh Green just dribbling in traffic and God knows, like Maxi Kleber just, I don't know what the hell he was doing out there. Like to make it to the finals, like I'm sure at some point in September, I will be happy about this. But right now, I just want to be in that casket with Jerry West right now.
Take me with you. So where are you at looking forward with this Mavs squad? Because I'm gonna be honest, this is where I'm at. I look at this finals, I see a Boston team that could very well be back there next year. I look at the Mavs and I'm like, I don't know, bro. I think it might have been lightning in the bottle this postseason. So I want to hear from a Dallas fan about your perception on that.
That's the toughest challenge about the West, man. Like these other teams are gonna restack, retool. Like I didn't think we were going to get this far because I thought we were going to face the Nuggets. And I feel like that matchup against the Nuggets is something that, at least at the point of this playoff series, I didn't think we were going to match well. And so I'm looking at the Celtics series and I'm like, okay, Tim Hardaway Jr. got to go. That's priority number one. His contract has got 1 more year left. Do whatever you got to do to bundle it up. We have to find a third guard that can take over whenever Luka needs a break or Kyrie needs a break. Someone else that could just manage the offense and run the offense. That was something we clearly lacked. Because you look at the Pacers, and I kept saying this, and I think I talked about this with you guys as well. Like, their tempo was giving the Celtics some problems. And I'm in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh, man, we have to push the pace. But when Luka's limping and Kyrie isn't finding his flow, there's no other ball handler that can create that. We're relying on Exum to try and do that, you know? That I feel like is the biggest priority in the situation. And I would probably want to add another wing as well. I still think some of the pieces are there and they'll still be really competitive. But yeah, man, I agree with you, man. It's gonna be tough. The Timberwolves are gonna come back and restock. The Nuggets, whatever you want to think about what the Clippers are doing. The Thunder are still there. It's not gonna be easy, man. It's not. And I think that's the reality that I'll have to kind of come to grasp with, is realizing that you have to take advantage of these moments when they come, and they unfortunately didn't.
All right, Master. Well, thank you for hopping on with us. Fresh after the painful loss in person. We appreciate you, bro, and we'll be rooting for you to make it a gentleman's sweep on Friday. But thanks for hopping on, bro. We appreciate you.
Man, root for me to meet Jerry West, bro. I'm out here, man. I'll see y'all later, bro.
Appreciate you, my boy.
All right, bro.
Doug said, take me with you, Jerry.
Jerry, move over, Jerry, please.
Big space for one.
All right. This podcast is my personal fucking nightmare. We're going to go from talking about how the Celtics are so dominant that the only nitpick I have is that it's boring how dominant they are, to talking about how the Lakers are a fucking poverty franchise that needs to be sold to real ownership. Tyler, since the last time we recorded, the Lakers missed out officially on Dan Hurley. It's been some back and forth between Shams and Woj about exactly how interested they were in Dan Hurley, but clearly they flew him out to try and hire him. They made him an offer and he turned it down for a public university job at the University of Connecticut, the Lakers being outbid by public fucking colleges. I feel horrible as a Lakers fan about this. I feel embarrassed. I was actually angry. It's a little bit of fuck Dan Hurley, fuck Woj for me. But how do you feel about this? And what moment is this for the Lakers franchise?
Yeah, I think people are saying, oh, the Lakers have lost their luster. The job isn't as appealing as it was. And I think that's been the case for a while now. I don't think that's just something, that you can take from this, because I honestly think this. I think Dan Hurley price surged the Lakers. I think that's clear as fucking day. I think he had no legitimate interest in being the Lakers head coach. He just wanted to, run those negotiations up so he can run up those negotiations with UConn. And it's plain as day. And Shams, to his credit, he called that shit out, which shocked me. Right?
Too.
Like, yeah, because, he my dog put on his leather jacket on a June morning. I was like, it's time for me to set the record straight. Motherfuckers were coming at my name. And he went on his show and he flat out said, you have to question if this was done in good faith. Like, bro, and that's heavy for him, because the implication there is, Woj, we need to call your integrity into question here for what just happened. That's exactly what he was saying there. And that's just shocking that it came from Shams, and it came from Shams on camera at that, bro. Like I told you, I've been way more interested in the behind the scenes dealing of this shit than the actual search. Like, it's so much drama behind the scenes with this shit, bro.
Yeah, because I think Shams has seen, it's become kind of a trendy joke to make on Twitter that it's like, oh, he's moving the lines for FanDuel. Like, oh, he's putting something out there that doesn't end up being true, but he's changing the odds for the gambling company that he works for. And I think, he's a creature of the internet. Right. Woj is a little older than us, but Shams grew up on what we grew up on. Right. Like, he's been a Twitter denizen to the extent that his brain's probably rotted out like ours. And he's seen all those jokes. And I think he saw this moment and goes, this motherfucker has his book about Hurley's dad in the background while he's filming these fucking things about, like you said, trying to drive the price up or whatever. So I do think it is a bad moment for the Lakers even if it is just that they got played by Woj and the coach at UConn, it's a bad look. Like, it just is a bad look. And it's a bad look that the number was put out there that they were going to offer him $100 million, and then the offer was not that high. The whole thing is just a bad look to me. And now you question whether or not JJ Redick is going to want to feel like, I mean, he's going to be the name that comes up for every opening. You wonder if he's going to want to feel like leftovers to a dude, but it just makes the franchise look bad to me. And everything that's been happening, we talked about this before. They take big swings. I appreciate they take big swings because sometimes they land Braun and AD. Sometimes they get to win a championship. But there's also these moments where you strike out and you're looking in the wrong direction because you spun all the way around as you were swinging and missing. You just feel fucking stupid. Like, and it doesn't feel like there's this weird thing going on in pro sports where the teams are now worth so much. The cost is so high that you can have a franchise like the Lakers that, it's Jerry Buss's team. He left it to his kids. I completely understand him leaving it to his kids. But the fact of the matter is most of the Buss kids' worth is in the equity of the Lakers. Most of my net worth is in the equity of my house. The only way I can spend that money is if I take a loan out against the house. And the fact is Jeannie Buss or the Buss family, they don't have Steve Ballmer money. They don't have the money of the ownership groups, private equity that are trying to acquire teams. And I really think for the good of the franchise, those kids need to take a real hard look at it, because you look at across town in LA, the Guggenheim group that owns the Dodgers, it's an investment to them. They go, we got to spend $2 billion to make $4 billion. Sounds good. We got $2 billion. We're not worried about that. The Lakers aren't in that position. And this is the second time with the all-time great player that they miss out on the coach that they want to, and it gets reported that they had a low ball offer. And I do think that's a serious concern. And there's so many other fucking things going on in that franchise right now. But as a Lakers fan, as much as it pains me to say it, that's what I'm looking at. Is like, I think you might need real capital behind this, not just someone who had inherited the mom and pop shop that happens to be one of the globe's biggest sports brands.
Yeah. I think that franchise is going to stay in the Buss family forever, though.
I agree.
Yeah. So, I mean, but yeah, it's what you said. Like, Ballmer has fucking Microsoft money, right? Like, he created the fucking operating system that the whole world runs on, that the whole corporate world runs on, and they are just making money off jersey sales and tickets and popcorn. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's for sure levels there, but yeah, I don't know. I think that the main thing working for them is, the Los Angeles Lakers are still the most followed, most storied franchise in NBA. I think that, of course, you're selling being a millionaire in Los Angeles to people. There's only like 3 teams that are free agent destinations, and the Los Angeles Lakers are one of them. And the Clippers are actually working their way there, leading on the back of being in Los Angeles as well.
Right.
But yeah, it's I don't know. I don't think the Lakers are ever. I think the obituaries that people write on the Lakers luster being, long gone are just, I don't buy into them. I think the Lakers are going to always be a legit, a player in the field.
I agree, but I think what you want to get back to as a fan, or if you're in the organization, is you want to get back to the consistency that they had under Phil Jackson, Pat Riley. You want that figurehead in place. You want the stars in place. You want the stars to know that if they go somewhere, it's going to be a plus for their career, right? Mm-hmm. And right now, what it feels like for coaches and for players, you're looking at the Lakers, and there is that little stink of like, why would I want to get involved in that? So I agree with you. There's still enough prestige that they're going to put teams together that can contend sometimes. I do think they'll always have stars on the team for sure, but that's not enough, and it's not going to be enough, as we've talked about with the direction that the league is moving with the hard cap, that it can't just be an injection of capital. There has to be a consistency in your franchise to draft well, evaluate well, do free agency well. And I don't know. I don't what. So, okay. So as a Braun fan, coaching wise, are we just back to JJ Redick as the next Pat Riley?
I mean, fuck it. Looks like that's gonna be the move anyway. I don't know. It depends on what JG. Like I said, the whole back behind the scenes shit. Like, I cannot wait for someone to give us a write up on that, because I'm intrigued by all the behind the scene workings with all this. But I could see JJ walking away from it, bro. I could see JJ turning it down. That wouldn't shock me.
Me too.
Yeah.
You want to coach a team?
Hell yeah. Let's run it up. Because I will not give a fuck what y'all say. I want to be here for half a season. Get me fired. Get me fired and pay me for 5 years, please.
All I want to know is what the guaranteed money looks like.
That's all I give a fuck
about. Josh, we got anything in the chat?
Yeah, so we have a couple things. First off, Miles French said that Mike sounds like he's at a funeral. So very sad night for you, Mike. I think chat can tell.
I'll be honest with you. Most funerals I've been to, I had a much better time at than watching this fucking game, bro. All right. I go to a Long Beach sports legends funeral. He lived a great, full long life. We all there. It's a party. You know what I mean? There's something to celebrate a life, and I got nothing. I got nothing to celebrate from this game.
All right. Well, chat, think of something worse than a funeral if you can, if anything. Also, Patrick Duru Jr. says Shams and Woj not acknowledging each other at all makes this shit so hilarious, which I agree with. Yes. And Elijah Newsom said, I don't know if JJ is even the guy. They might need to try and get Sam Cassell or something. Your thoughts on Sam?
I think they're going to go after JJ really hard. And I think that it will be public. I mean, you talk about it. It's somewhat embarrassing to have Dan Hurley turn you down, but I think you can always come back to what Tyler said. He was just using you as the prestige franchise that you want to be to drive up the price for UConn, which we were talking about this in the group chat too, Josh. Like, I hate it as a Lakers fan, but I understand it from Woj and from Dan Hurley's perspective. If I could make some bullshit up and get Tyler an extra $20 million, I would do it without question.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
100%.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, the volume. The Lakers are thinking of hiring Dragonfly Jones as their head coach.
Don't get us into a beef with Bill Simmons and the Ringer. That's the last thing we need. Jackson has ties over there. It could get ugly.
Oh, shit. All right. Tyler, did you see the news that Joey Chestnut will not be competing at the 4th of July hot dog eating contest?
I saw it. I didn't do a deep dive into it. What's going on with that?
He apparently had signed some sort of a promotional deal with with Impossible Meat, with a meat substitute company, which is a violation of some contract with Nathan's Hot Dogs. So we will not have the 4th of July tradition. However, it was announced today that Joey Chestnut and Kobayashi will be competing in a live hot dog eating contest on Netflix September 2nd. Chestnut versus Kobayashi, unfinished beef.
Look at Netflix becoming the destination for like unsanctioned shit. Like with the fucking Logan Paul, Mike Tyson shit, the Chestnut Kobayashi shit. Like, I appreciate that. Give the people what they want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's wild that Impossible Meat is like the aluminum bats. that you cannot bring to the majors. You know what I mean? I did not know there were rules for this shit, bro. And stipulations that can disqualify you and shit. That's insane.
Listen, you can do anything you want. You cannot put a weenie that does not have real meat in it in your fucking throat. All right.
You cannot put that plant-based shit in your mouth. You need to eat this tube of cow assholes and pig eyeballs, sir. Wild world we live in. I did not know shit was like that with competitive eating.
Competitive eating is wild. I'm actually kind of a huge Joey Chestnut fan, to be completely honest with you. You make a great point. Netflix is our international waters at this point. That's where that's the island where blood sports happening, because it's in no one's jurisdiction.
Yeah. I like how they leaned into that, man, because it's a lot of fights I want to see. It's a lot of conflicts I want to see resolved between a lot of motherfuckers out here.
Yeah.
Dade South, I don't know how to say this in the chat. He said Netflix the Ocho, which I think is hilarious.
The Ocho. That's right. All right. We also got the news, and this is awesome, but Dragonfly Jones, not the Twitter user, but the Martin character, will be appearing in Mortal Kombat. I feel like you've brought as much attention to that name and character as the show itself did. Is this a nice moment for you that the original Dragonfly Space Jones with the S will be getting some love in Mortal Kombat?
Dragonfly Jones with an S. But yeah, that obviously the inspiration for my Twitter name. I think that's what it be. I mean, I love Martin. It's my most favorite sitcom ever, hence my screen name. And Dragonfly Jones is just a fucking hilarious character. And I always thought the name was just cool as fuck. You know what I mean? So yeah. I don't know if it's official. It looks like a player modification. It looks like they just reskinned Johnny Cage and the quote at the and the Dragonfly Jones quote at the beginning kind of feels like they lifted it from an episode. But either way, I appreciate the Dragonfly Jones appreciation regardless.
All right. I got engagement farmed, huh?
Yeah. In the good way though.
Okay. I didn't launch any missiles over that one. So we'll take that. What other references to your Twitter account would you like to see in a Mortal Kombat game? Would you rather see Beyonce's Uncle Larry Beyonce or would you rather see DeBrickashaw Ferguson?
DeBrickashaw would beat some ass in that motherfucker like that. Dog. Shouts to DeBrickashaw, man. That's like my favorite first name of all time.
DeBrickashaw is another one where I feel like when that was your username and what is not username? That was the display name you had or whatever.
Yeah, that was just my name, just DeBrickashaw period, bro.
DeBrickashaw period. I feel like I would, because I was retweeting you all the time. I feel like people would like they thought that was your name, and I was like, no, yeah. He's a football player. People don't know. People don't follow it. All right. We got anything else from the chat? I got nothing. This is a fucking miserable night of basketball.
It's been a miserable night. Elijah Newsom just said Mortal Kombat needs to add Waffle House as a fighting stage.
That would be fire, though. Real shit.
Also, I want to read this tweet to you. This is from Jared Weiss. I guess Joe Mazzulla said this after during the post-game press conference. He said, Jayson Tatum says Joe Mazzulla shows the team videos of UFC fighters getting choked out to show how to stay calm in moments and fight back. This man is psychotic, bro.
Hey, I'll tell you what, though. The motherfucker's coaching his ass off.
He is. He's running circles around Jason Kidd.
We might have to look at these tactics not as crazy, but as as brilliant. Because the shit is working.
It is.
The shit is working. I don't know how a motherfucker not tapping out of a rear naked choke, can help you on the driving kick, but whatever correlation, whatever dots he's connected with, the shit is working, dog.
The NBA is a copycat league. Every coach in the league is going to be watching the town 10 times a day and getting choked out.
Look at him. The light never went out in his eyes. That's what we need to be. Just fighting through it. Look at that forehead vein. That's determination right there. Pop it out. Yeah, man. A different dude, bro. A different dude. We might need that championship media run from that guy. That might be the only silver lining here.
I will say I will for sure be tuned in to Joe Mazzulla's appearance on Jimmy Kimmel. You know what I mean? Like 100, like 100%. Jimmy Kimmel. Is it true that you, after frustrating losses, would go get choked out? I mean, like that'll be, yeah, you're right. That's something. What else do we have to look forward to? Who's finals MVP, Tyler? Is it Jaylen Brown?
It's Jaylen. Like
narrative time.
Low key should be unanimous. Like, I mean, what are we doing here? He's been incredible this
season. Tatum scores 44 points in a blowout game 4.
Too little, too late. Too little. Like, bro, like he was going crazy late in the game, and I was just like, man, we're over this. You can go ahead and have a seat, Jayson. Like, I appreciate what you're trying to do here, but this finals MVP is Jaylen's, dog. Like no, like, and he balled out tonight. Shouts to him.
Yeah. Yes. There's just nothing. All right. Okay. Well,
hold on. One more thing. The kid from Haiti, he says, I just realized the guys have 5K subscribers now. We need that wife answering questions episode. I ain't forget. So,
oh yes.
Okay.
You got to work on that, Tyler.
Yeah.
So that's on you. I don't know if I should have said that out loud and publicly.
Coordinate that.
No, we've been talking about it. I think that would be fun. I think that would be a funny episode. Hey, it looks like after Friday we're gonna have to figure out some episodes.
This is ending a little sooner than we thought.
Thank God for the Olympics, man. We might have to
and House of Dragons.
Synchronized swimming segment or some shit. But.
Yes, yeah. Synchronized swimming with live with Jenkins and Jones. We are gonna have, as a reminder, organic plug. Sunday night is the premiere of House of the Dragon season 2. We will be recording live. And I believe we're going to go right after the episode drops. It drops at 9:00 Eastern, 6:00 Pacific on Max. We're gonna watch it, and at like 7 o'clock, whenever it's over, we're all gonna hop on. We'll all be there. Tyler and I discussed it before. It's gonna be a crazy episode, so prepare yourselves. I had a couple people hit me up and were like, I got some trigger warnings I need to ask about. And it was like, it's probably going to hit every trigger warning you got, bro. It's super fucked up. But anyway, that'll be that I'm looking forward to talking about that episode with you guys. I'm not super looking forward to seeing the episode, if I'm being completely honest with you, but I'm excited to see how they handle it and to have that show back because it's a lot of fun. So more fun than watching the Celtics skull fuck the Mavericks.
The fucking Celtics. You said, "Take me with you, Jerry." And you want to have a conversation about Jerry in a somewhat serious.
Yes. That's a better place to. That's a better place to end it for sure. Jerry West, bro, unbelievable. Do you know an old person that was more respected by young people than Jerry West? Like truly respected. Like, okay, he's not just an old dude. He is that fucking guy.
Yeah, like I mean, you'd see him at All-Star game. He was one of those legends that the guys sought out. That the guy, he would have like a line of people waiting to chop it up with him and catch up with him. The one thing that I think about Jerry West is this is a dude who perhaps had more impact on today's NBA than any single figure. When you look at he was the architect of Showtime, the architect of Kobe and Shaq. The guy who told the Warriors, if y'all trade Klay Thompson for Kevin Love, I am quitting. Right? Like, and I remember so many of us thought that the Warriors were foolish for not making that trade. But I mean, this is a dude who just who knew basketball, who knew, who saw the future, who was a visionary, and just lived a really complete basketball life. Like, was Mr. West Virginia, won states in high school, won a natty in college, won an Olympic gold medal, won an NBA championship, was the first NBA Finals MVP, and they started that shit because Boston used to whoop the Lakers' ass, and they're like, "Yo, Jerry West is so incredible. We've got to acknowledge the best player in these series, even though Boston keeps winning it. Right?
We got to give him something."
Yeah, and he deserved that shit. But something that I always admired about Jerry West on a personal level is he was one of the first like sports legends, I feel like, to really talk candidly about like depression and the trauma that he was working through his whole life from being abused as a child and all that. And I feel like, he kind of welcomed us in about 15 or so years ago with that information. And we're in a way better place now than we were 15 years ago. And you need guys like Jerry West starting those discussions. So, starting those discussions 15 years ago. So guys like DeMar and Kevin Love can talk about it 15 years later. Right. And because I remember he was telling a story about how growing up, his father just abused him all the time. Like, and it made him withdrawn. It made him a quiet dude. And we all know Jerry West has that reputation of being a cantankerous guy, not necessarily a really friendly guy. And he said that, the abuse that he suffered as a child made him kind of retreat into himself that way. And he tells a story about how his dad would always abuse him and he just took it, you know what I mean? But then one night his dad abused his younger sister.
Right.
And he said he hopped in, beat the shit out of his dad, told him, if you hit either one of us again, I'm going to kill you. I've got my shotgun under my bed. Right. So I would just encourage if any of the listeners aren't familiar with his actual, progression in life, like I mentioned, with the whole working through anxiety and depression and dealing with the trauma of being an abused child. That's something interesting to dive in with him because he was so candid and so vulnerable. And I remember something that stuck with me was, people asked him, did he try therapy? And he was like, therapy wouldn't work for me. I'm not a talker. And he was very open about how he, medicated on like antidepressants and stuff to get to where he was at. So,
right.
Like we had a, when Bill Walton passed, about how he was someone who kind of made us appreciate being in the moment, appreciate all the little things. And, Jerry West is on the other end of the spectrum on some, it's okay to not be okay type shit. You know what I mean? And both those stances are valid because both those were being their genuine selves with that. So that's something that I always will remember about Jerry West and be appreciative of him, just how open and vulnerable he was with those issues.
For sure. I mean, I think I want to say it was a Sports Illustrated feature where he talked about, when he was with the Lakers, it was like the game would start and he would just go get in the car He would just tell a driver, just drive me around and just listen to the game on the radio, because he physically could not watch the game from the arena because of the anxiety. You know what I mean?
Right.
And again, you talk about a dude who, just objectively, if you are any child anywhere on earth hoping to have a great life, Jerry West is about a best case scenario, right? You're not going to do much better than Jerry West. He's literally the fucking logo of the NBA. And he was saying this wasn't even the playoffs. This was Tuesday, Lakers versus Nuggets in the, at that time, which was, and so that definitely, those moments for me, Tyler, where you talk about the mental health when I was younger, were so significant for me, because I think for those of us who struggled with depression or other mental health issues when we were younger, you had this false idea of like, if I got on the other side of something, everything would be okay. Like, oh, if I write a book that becomes a bestseller, then I would be, whatever. And so when you heard from those people, oh no, man, it's fucked up over here too. So you got to find a way to try, to still enjoy life, or to get here in a way that doesn't destroy you mentally. Those were always for sure. And that's why I remember that story, because I remember reading that being like, well, I'm not going to do better than Jerry West, just objectively. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I can't hope that like some level of achievement would just fix everything or whatever. So yeah, it's crazy. He also had, I think, maybe one of the best quotes of all time, talking about when it was real popular for everyone to talk about, having that dog in him a couple of years ago. And he was sitting up on stage doing an interview, and you could and I love this about an old man. He couldn't wait to get that line off. He said, there's a lot of talk about, who's got that dog in him. Well, I was a wolf. I ate dogs.
Hey, top-notch old white guy co-worker. Cliche right there. He nailed that shit. He knocked that one out the park, man. Shouts to Jerry. And to his credit, he was a bad motherfucker, dog. Like, he's one of the handful of guys from that era who would thrive in today's NBA, for sure.
I mean, you look at what he did scoring, and any of the guys who scored at a high level with before the 3-point line and who were doing it consistently in the playoffs and stuff, you just have to look at as absolute different animals for sure. Cause it was, and they were fucking cage fighting too in the mid range. Do we have Jackson? Oh, to cap off the worst night ever.
We have Jackson. Hold on. Give me 1 second.
Oh,
I'm getting him in 1 second so that everybody could see him.
This is what the chat has wanted. We get to see mug ass Jackie Saffon. Jackie Hoops.
All right, he's on. Let's do this.
Jenkins and Jones chat. Welcome live on stream. Fucking Jackie Hoops. Jackson.
Hello.
How much fun are you having with the worst NBA finals?
I mean, I'm having a little bit less fun than I would be having if it was a more fun series. I'm going to be honest. It's been a little bit of a snooze fest. And even that game, which was very fun for the most part, kind of like when Luka fouled out, kind of took all the air out of it a little bit. But
do you feel that symbolically that's very appropriate for these Celtics because they have not yet seen the best version of a team in the playoffs?
I'm not sure I would characterize it as that. I feel like it's not quite how I would put it, but
fair question.
Fair question. Not quite how I would put it. I got to be honest. I have never had my favorite team go up 3-0 in the NBA Finals. It's sort of like a surreal feeling. I'm not really sure like how to move, how to act a little bit. It's a little bit jarring to have your team be so dominant over the course of the playoffs and also in the NBA Finals. But it definitely feels pretty good. I'm going to say it definitely feels pretty good. Draymond Green was shit talking.
Is your friend Draymond Green enjoying the?
He is not. He is not enjoying. He is not enjoying me enjoying it. Understandable.
That's messed up. He's a bad friend.
Understandable.
It's a bad friend.
No, I understand. I mean, I get it. I get why you guys are having a hate fest without me, but it does feel pretty good.
We did a ton of appreciating the Celtics dominance.
Is that so?
Yeah, that was really, Tyler, would you agree? That was really the tenor of the show. I mean, it was just a total Celtics love fest.
Hell yeah. We love the Celtics over here.
Tyler's green hat is very symbolic, I feel like,
Yeah.
It's a Yankees hat, but still.
Who are you happier for, Mark Wahlberg or the guy who told John that blacks are loved in Boston? If you had to pick one of those,
if I had to pick one of those,
or was it Mark Wahlberg who said that to John?
if I had to pick one of those, yeah.
Actually, that's so funny because there is a non-zero chance that Mark Wahlberg said that to John, and John did not recognize him as being Mark Wahlberg.
Right.
That John just thought it was a different white guy from Boston. There is a non-zero chance of that.
But yeah.
So which one? Who are you like when you go to sleep tonight? Which one of those two people are you going to picture being happy?
I'm not going to picture either of those two people. I am happy for John. I'm happy for John that his boy's going to get a ring. I know John's ecstatic. I know John is just ecstatic about this experience. Jayson Tatum was really gunning for that MVP at the end of that game. He's like, I'm going to wave off Jaylen Brown and drive. I'm going to take the step back three. I want my big crescendo moment. I understand why. He knows they're going to win the series anyways. Might as well go out swinging. Didn't seem to fall that way, unfortunately.
For those of for everyone in the chat who's still with us after 45 minutes of us talking about a 48-minute boring basketball game.
That was a fun basketball game.
Here's the analogy that I used before we started recording, Jackson. And chat, you can tell me if you think I'm offline here. Jayson Tatum in the finals to me reminds me of fucking after you've come. Do you know what I mean? I'm just like, you're
gonna have to explain that one for me.
I can't clock out yet.
Oh my God.
My heart's not really in it, but like I can't.
I definitely don't have my best stuff right now, but gonna have to to finish the job.
Yeah,
that's what Friday is gonna look like. That's what Friday is gonna look like. I'll tell you that. Game 4, that's what it's gonna look like across the board for the Celtics. I feel like, just oh man, we gotta play in Dallas one more time. We gotta do this again.
I'm actually rooting for a sweep because I do not want y'all celebrating in Boston. So I do not want Boston fans celebrate 30,000 Boston fans in the streets celebrating. Hell no.
Mike, the chat's like halfway horrified and halfway saying that you're preaching. I can't tell.
I mean, my body feels the same way. I'm also
that's the sweet spot right there. That's exactly what I was driving at. So
the great Patrice O'Neal once said that half the audience should be horrified and half the audience should be hysterically laughing. I think you did a job.
I feel we've spent some time in that territory as a podcast over the last 500 something episodes. All right. Anyone got anything else?
No, I'm just waiting. I'm excited for the offseason. We'll be able to really parse the, is this Celtics team sneakily one of the best teams of all time conversation, which Draymond did not like that conversation tonight. Understandably.
It didn't come up.
What about it's the blown leads every series though, man?
Yeah, no, I know. I'm mostly just joking.
Okay, here's my question to you. What performance are you going to remember from these finals? Like every Lakers championship, every championship I've been a fan of, there's moments, there's performances that you're like, this shit's going to live forever.
You want to?
Is it KP?
There's a couple. I would be Jaylen Brown's shot against the Pacers.
I'm talking about the finals. When you remember winning the finals, what's the memorable?
Kristaps turning into the Undertaker in Game 1 was genuinely an electric first half. Absolutely electricity coursing through my veins during that Kristaps. And Jaylen Brown's dunk tonight was pretty good. That dunk in the fourth quarter was pretty good. Pretty good dunk. Other than that, yeah, I mean, it's just it's not as, I don't know. I don't have a lot of singular moments for you, unfortunately, when the team is this dominant.
I'll say this: Boston's the type of team to lose the next 2 games and make it interesting.
No.
I'm just gonna say
I got nothing left there. Josh.
They're gonna win it. They're gonna win the whole thing, but they wouldn't.
Tyler, do you think it goes 5 or you think we're done on Friday? I feel like it's a wrap.
I think we're done, bro. When we talked after Game 1, and I was like, bro, Mazzulla schemed the lob in the corner 3-way from these dudes. They're cooked. That dribble shit ain't gonna work, dog. Yes, they're done, bro.
All right. Thanks everyone for tuning in.
God, what a night. What a night.
Someone before you hopped on, someone in the chat said that I sound like I'm at a funeral, and I made the point that I usually have a good time at funerals, compared to watching this basketball game. So I don't know. I got nothing else.
Celebrate the life of the Dallas Mavericks if you'd like. If you'd like to celebrate their dribble. We can play some barbecue music and you can celebrate the life of the Mavericks if you like.
We'll always have the Western Conference Finals. All right. We will be, we'll all be here live after Friday's game. That may or may not be the last basketball game of the season. And then Sunday night after House of the Dragon, right after it goes up on Max 6, we'll watch it. We'll be on right after that. And we look forward to seeing you guys. Come hang out in the chat. Thanks to everyone who tuned in tonight. You guys are funny as fuck. We appreciate you. And yeah, we'll see everyone soon. Bye.
Bye.
Go Celtics.